Okay, hi, good afternoon. So today, my name is Miss Faiza. Today I would like to present our result from Mentaris training. So with the title, Building Relationships with Reading. Okay, so today I divide my presentation into three parts. The first one is build love with reading, and the second, the steps, and also recommendations. Okay, let's move to how to build the relationship between students and the reading activity. And first, what is reading? So reading is an activity that seems less fun because we look at thousands of letters and make our eyes sick and then make it really boring. But actually, there's a lot of way to overcome this kind of situation, and one of the way that I already know from our last training is doing scaffolding. So what is scaffolding? So scaffolding is breaking up large tasks into smaller tasks. The tasks get progressively more challenging in a support learning, but actually scaffolding is make the big activity into a smaller, and then you do it step by step to the student. You give it not go through the large activity, but you do it slowly. You give step by step, like small, and then do it slowly. And then the next, the steps. So the reading stage has 3 stages, and the first one is pre-reading, the second is while reading, and the third is post-reading. Pre-reading, what is pre-reading? So pre-reading is very important to engage the students and teacher, the relationship actually, because in this stage, teacher can make students more interesting about the topic that we will going to learn in that day. So here I put 3 kinds of things that you can do when do pre-reading. So the first one is brainstorming, and then small talk, and also mind mapping. So first, brainstorming. Actually, brainstorming, you can ask like a simple question to students, and the students will answer, and then you can have a small talk. You can do a lot of conversation. Example is in level 5, I remember there's a reading text called Food Around the World. So before we go through to the reading text, you can ask your students like, what is your favorite food? And then what is your favorite fruit from another country? And then you can ask, have you ever tried this kind of food, and why you don't like it, and something like that. And your student will get more interesting to answer your question, and you will have their brainstorming and small talk. And the third is mind mapping. So mind mapping is like optional, but if you do it in lower level, it could be more interesting because you can make them do mind mapping and divide what the food they don't like or what the food they really likes. Okay, if we already did the pre-reading, we go to while reading. So while reading is the main activity in the reading stage. And then I put 3 kind of strategy too. The first, scanning, skimming, and Q&A. So scanning first. Scanning is you give some activity to students to build up the relationship between students to the reading text. So you can give them like gap sentence, like they will fill the blank words from the sentences, and after that you can give like true or false questions based on the text, and also you could like to give them some skimming, the question about the text, like general structure, what type of the text, and so on. And also Q&A is a must do to make your students understand about the text. But if we only read aloud, like, or read one by one, it will be boring. So you can use audio or video to make students more interesting to our text. And then the last stage is post reading. And here I put the 3 kinds of post reading activity that we can do in our class. So the first one is retell the story, and second, make a comic, and then role play. Actually, if we already talk about the reading text, so we could ask students to retell the story by their own version, by their own language, and it made them not really the reading skill but also speaking. And also make a comic from the text that really a lot of 1,000 words there. You could ask students to make a comic, but it's still related to the text. And after that, role play. So you could ask your students to do role play about texts that have some conversation or some acts that they can do in a real life. Okay, we arrive at the last stage. So recommendation, what can we implement to our company? Actually, the first one, the main important, we must have projector in every class. Like, we as a teacher doesn't need to booking, like I will do this projector or something like that. It's better if we have, like, in every class we have one, so it just like we can connect it in our own device. We don't need others staff to help us because it's already in our class, and it makes teacher and student easier to do the media, to make the activities fun. And second, teacher prepare creative media related to the material. Actually, this kind of media, not just picture, not just audio, but yeah, you can use video or anything or PowerPoint to make your students more interesting to our activity. Because if we only like use cards, use picture, yeah, if it's only once or twice, they will happy. But if it's every week, every month, they will feel bored too. So it's better if the teacher prepare the media, like every month is different, like using video, using card, using pictures, or PowerPoint, and some kind of media that creative that will be make student interest. And the third, actually it's optional, but it's good for students actually. So it's good to we have a movie time. So what is movie time? So like maybe 2 months once, 2 months in once in 2 months. I mean, so we have a movie time, so students could refresh their brain after a lot of exam, lot of learning, and then but after the movie, you could ask students to do this: retell the story, make comic, or role play. So in movie, you could learn a lot of skills. First, reading, and then second, listening, because you listen to the movie, and the third, speaking, because in post reading, I will ask students to do this, like role play some scene from the movie, or the retell the story by their own version, or make a comic based on what they want, like some scene, something like that. Okay, that's all. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.